what is organizational psychology and the nature of organizational psychology and the organization psychology in the Indian context. Today, we are moving on to Unit 4, that is Block 2, and we are going to learn about socio-technical and system approaches to organization structure. Okay, so what is the main objective of this Unit 4? The objective of this Unit 4 to explain organizational structure and chart, enumerate social technical approach to organizations, describe principles used in the social technical approach, and explain systems approach to organization, right? So every organization is goal-directed and has a social entity and has processes and system which consists of people working together to achieve a common goal, right? So the organization mission is expressed in terms of organization goals. To achieve the goals of the organization, there are strategies that are planned and implemented, and then there are goals that are involved in developing the organization structure. And organization structural designs are most fundamental one that leaders have to make. Now let us look at the organization structure and the chart. An organizational structure defines how job, work tasks are formally divided, grouped, and coordinated. The structure defines the functions of the organization activities. The purpose of the organization structure is to coordinate the actions of the employees to achieve organization goals. And there's a definition here by Kuntz and Donald, who have defined organization structure as the establishment of authority relationships with provision for coordination between them, both vertically and horizontally in the enterprise structure. Organization structure is developed both horizontally and vertically. Division of work and specialization is determined by horizontal structure, and vertical structure is defined in the lines of authority and reporting channels. Good organization structure should consist of the following. What are they? The structure must lay down formal reporting hierarchy of the assignment of the task and responsibility that defines the job of the individual unit at every level. That means there needs to be a hierarchy of structure when you assign responsibilities to certain persons so that they are able to take responsibility for the task that is entrusted to them at every unit. Secondly, clustering the identical activities of individual units and the units and department can be structured with formal reporting to form an organization hierarchy. Thirdly, various activities conducted need to be facilitated and coordinated. The coordinating authority needs to be specified, right? So when we are talking about the organizational chart, a structure, that organization structure is most often described in terms of a chart. An organization chart consists of the following. That is the employees, position, reporting relationships, lines of communication. The organizational chart is the line of diagram that depicts outline of the organization structure. Most of the organization has a series of organization charts that shows reporting hierarchy throughout the system. The underlying component of the organization charts are as follows. That is, the organization chart designates the formal lines of authority and responsibility. It identifies grouping together of employees into departments and department into complete organization extra. Formal systems of communication designates a pattern of formal interaction among employees. The structural design of the organization is influenced by the environment, technology, and the goal. So you see, these are the three basic components you see when you're looking at an organization chart. That is the lines of authority and responsibility. And secondly, the departments, the different departments which keeps the employees together, in order to complete whatever the organization goals. And the thirdly, the line of communication in between them, like that forms the structural design of the organization, right? You have your check your progress. What is organization structure? You can explain the structure, right? Sociological technical approach. Now, what is the social technical approach? Aristus and his colleagues at Tavistock Institute of Human Relations in England during the 1940s developed the socio-technical approach to organization structure. The term socio-technical originates from Trist and Bamford. Social technical systems are an approach that recognizes the interaction between people and technology in workplace. It integrates the human factors in the organization setting. The social technical approach considers the organization as a social organization, a technical system, and its environment. For effective functioning of the organization, these three need to be balanced, right? So, social technical system theory is predicted on the concept of the performance of a system are often improved if social and technical aspects of the system are treated together during the planning process. Organizations contains a number of interrelated functions leading to complexity of working system, which include diverse group of employees working within the diverse functions of the organization. The focus of the socio-technical design is to implement new technologies by improving job design and work organization related issues for effective and efficient functioning of diverse complex workforce. In these subsequent studies across variety of settings, research colleagues conducted many researches and agreed that work must be conceptualized both together as social and technical process. They found consistent, profound changes in the social aspect of work. When there were profound technical changes like increased automation in an industry, the basic premise of this theory is the principle of organizational choice, which means that the technology not necessarily determines the human task arrangement by the organization, but leaves in design space. Now, further experiments were also conducted related to socio-technical principles, right? And these experiments were seen and developed in UK and India and Europe during the 50s. In the early 1960s, this principle of industrial democracy was introduced into the industries from the support from the Norway government. In US, socio-technical principles were widely used and applied in various settings. General Food Plant in Kansas and Procter & Gamble plant in Lima, Ohio, were also the industry that practiced socio-technical approach. Now, there are some principles of technical. What are they? Some of the principles that are given in our book are organizations as open systems. There takes a lot of environmental changes that takes place in the organization setting. The competitors, suppliers, stakeholders, etc. scan the environment, exchange food, or receive input or output, and anticipate while reacting to the environment in an adaptive ways. One Better Entry's work was brought to attention by Trist and Tavistock Group by Fred Emily, a Tavistock member, which became a pillar of the socio-technical approach. Responsible autonomy. What is responsible autonomy? Attention is paid at the group level to the internal supervision and leadership, calling it responsible autonomy. This is done by avoiding silo thinking, by engaging the whole system. Next, avoid adaptability and change. Change can be sudden, extreme, and unpredictable. Business environment is exposed to constant change. Turbulence disrupts the stable process and redesigning of the work takes place. There is an increasing complexity in the market. Socio-technical designs gives groups responsibility through internal regulation and agility for solving local problems. What is the next principle? Joint optimization. Joint optimization is essential to have a joint organization, optimum organization at work, optimization at work. Work itself by nature consists of technical and social support. Both these aspects need to be integrated for achieving the goal of improved productivity and quality of work of life. The next is equifinality. What is this? It is that various works designs that can be adopted to succeed to achieve productivity and quality and work life. An appropriate work design must be selected based on the technical and social approach applied in the organization. Work flexibility. What is work flexibility? Change is inevitable in any organization. Hence, the work design must change according to the times. An organization cannot have a fixed work design, and the design completed and the design implemented must be adaptable to change. The next two principles are whole and meaningful tasks. The task that needs to be completed with limited supervision, and for each employee, the task has total significance and the dynamic closure. The last principle is the design the minimal critical specification. Work designers need to just specify those terms that are absolutely necessary for the work design and have flexibility for the organization to make changes the organization designed accordingly. There are many researches done in the field of socio-technical changes. It is not always possible to determine which design has been effective as they are widely used. However, research has shown increased productivity and improved employee satisfaction. The socio-technical approaches form the base of popular contemporary high-performance organization model. So now we come to check your progress. Look at your question and answer. Compare your answer with one end of the given unit. Explain socio-cultural, socio-technical approach, which we have already done that. Go to that page. List out any two ideas identified with the social technical area. Again, it is already given in the text source. Please read through it, right? And then now we move on to the next. That is the systems approach. Sorry. What is the systems approach? The general system theory was formally published in 1968 by Ludwig von and Bartolomei. Haas and Roosevelt defined system as an organized unitary whole composed of two or more interdependent parts, components or subsystems, and delineated by identifiable boundaries from its environmental suprasystem. System theory treats a corporation as a system. System is a set of elements that interact with each other to achieve some goal which exists in environment. The system approach states that the organization consists of components, that is, individuals' patterns of behavior, physical environment, formal and informal organization, role perception, etc. Linking processes, that is, communication, balance, decision analysis, and growth. Stability and interaction. These are interrelated and are mutually dependent subsystems. A system are often perceived as composed of some components, functions, and processes. Katz and Khan describe system approach for explaining organization behavior. A system can be closed or open. A system which is closed will not be affected by external factors such as environment, which are open. A system is affected by external factors. A closed system is non-adaptive and is isolated from the environment. Whereas the open system tries to exchange the relationship with the environment. The open system receives input from the external source like information or in the form of resources, which is then processed internally. An open system keeps track of the information that is received. A negative input alerts the organization that there is an error in the method that is used that needs to be corrected, while the positive input confirms the right ongoing process. Once the input is received by the organization, the information is positive. The information is stored and processed to respond and adjust to the environment accordingly. Processing the positive and negative input to adjust to the external factors or environment in order to agree the environmental law is known through output. The output is then determined to see if it was effective in restoring equilibrium. System approach maintains organizational survival and emphasizes on long-term goals and the goals attainment approach. The system approach measures the effectiveness of the organization based on long-term growth and sustainability. Okay. According to Buckley, organization needs to maintain homeostasis, be effective, not in just in terms of survival, but also through the growth. There are various classifications of the system. Carzo and Yanuzas classified systems into three subsystems: technical, social, and power. The technical subsystem represents the formal part of the organization, and the social and the power represents the non-formal part of the organization. Okay. Technical subsystem. The technical subsystem is the organization structure which is based on technology, product, rules and regulations, policies, etc. Here the management and the authority is created. The input is drawn from the environment. The decisions are processed and output products are concluded. The administration balances maintain the balance in the organization. The duties and responsibilities are synchronized and the employees work towards a common organization goal. Okay, so social hub, social subsystem. Social subsystem provides social security and social satisfaction in the organization. Employees hired have varied levels of interest within them. When they join the organization, they also join the interest social groups like sports, club, dance, etc. To enhance the images at work, these employees seek power base to meet social needs. These members in the group develop their own strategies and objectives while exercising immense power in the society. Golf club is one of the examples. Now we move on to power subsystem. What is power subsystem? Every job is important and certain jobs are interrelated and interdependent on the other job so as to meet the individual, group and the organization's objectives. Individual display power behavior based on their skills, ability, job, etc. Power subsystem takes roots based on the superiority relationship with superior position, etc. The power holder enjoys extra privilege and benefits by turning the situation into their interest. These three systems overlap and intertwine many a time. Individual behavior is guided by these subsystems, and each of the subsystems contribute to or influenced by other subsystems. What are the features of systems approach? A system consists of interrelated and interdependent elements that are arranged to produce a holistic system. There are various subsystems in a system. They should be studied together rather than studying in isolation with each other. An organization has a boundary that determines the internal external part of the system, and the system receives information from the external sources or other systems as inputs. These inputs are understood within the system and are transformed as outputs to the other system. An organization system is responsive to its environment and is vulnerable to change. In system approach, the organization considers the overall effectiveness of the system and not just the subsystem. Formal organizations are concerned with general systems approach, while informal planning and controlling is concerned with the specialized system approach. System approach aims to achieve the objectives of the organization. Now let us look at what are the major components of the system approach. The system approach is holistic approach, which concentrates on the entity with all the components. Each component is evaluated, keeping an update with the entire system. And major concepts of the system approach are as follows. That is holism. Holism is an entire system is affected directly or indirectly if any change is found in any of the component of the system. Specialization. Each component of the system has a specialized characteristic. The whole system is divided into smaller components to better understand the role of each specialization of the components. Non-summation. It is important to understand the functions of each component in the system as that helps us to understand the holistic perspective of the system. Grouping. The complexity of the component may increase based on the specialization. Hence, it is essential to group related disciplines or sub-disciplines of the components. Coordination. Coordination is necessary to function properly in any system. The grouped components and the sub-components should be coordinated to study in a system under the holistic perspective. And lastly, emergent properties. One important approach of the system approach is the emergent properties. Sometimes the components in the group that are interrelated may have properties as a group, not as individual component. This will be useful in viewing the system from a holistic perspective. System management in business. System approach in management falls under following category. That is the product system and their context, service system and their context, organization system, incorporating products and service system, systems of system, the environmental context in which organization systems occur. Okay. So applied systems in businesses at the product level might begin with the analysis of the various inputs to the system like procurement, machinery, people, etc. Then the process is analyzed, after which the output, the product are concluded. The analysis also identifies all through the put-offs of the system, which broadly include manufacturing process. This analysis concludes with outputs of the products. After the analysis, the input throughout the output components are evaluated in terms of relationship and their other components. After this analysis, the put throughout output components are evaluated in terms of the relationship with other components. Improvement in the different systems area can be identified by the system analysis engineer, and unintended consequences can be avoided. Okay. So with this, we come to an end of Unit 4. Okay. So what do you see in Unit 4? In my book, it is on page number 38, right? Because mine is a Xerox one. So you can check your book, the page number. I completed the Unit 4, and we have a summary given on 4.9, and then in 4.10, you are given check your progress with model answer questions, question and answers, right? And then you have the model examination questions given here. Answer the following questions with 10 lines each. And then there is also some 30 lines each. Okay. So please go through the lesson and read through the unit for a better understanding so that you are able to answer the questions at the end of every unit and also fill up the multiple choice and the fill in the blanks that is given at the end of the unit. You also have the glossary for difficult words and you have additional materials also for reading. Sorry. So now we end the chapter unit 4 and then we move on to the unit 5. What is the unit 5? Which is a continuation of the unit 4. Okay. So unit 5 deals with the organizational designs. Okay. Let's see what is the objective of this unit 5. That is the organization design. The objective is to describe common organizational design, to discuss the elements of an organizational design, to explain the simplicity and the structure and the simple structure, to explain the standardization of the bureaucratic structure, and to enumerate the working of a matrix structure. Okay. So far we have been dealing with the organizational structure, that is we're defining about tasks and groups and how it has been divided and coordinated with different elements and different kind of organization structure, formal organization structure that represents the following organ. Now we are looking at the design. What is an organization design? Okay. Organizational design involves these processes, that is the rules, right? Processes and the structure that align with the organizational goals. Organizational design is mostly thought as an organizational chart. Organizational design is holistic approach, which is formed by first looking into the goals of the organization, right? The goals of the organization, and then moving on from the top level to the bottom level into the other aspects such as structure, strategy, process, employees, control, and coordination. Organizational design focuses on improving the business from the technical and employees' perspective. The organization strategy is one of the important aspects of organizational design. Organizational design may help in determining the strategies to put in place in a company. The operation, the structure of work, the process also needs to be aligned with the design. Laws, principle, regulations, etc. can be adopted to form the design. People are important part of the design. Design process is influenced by the people who take part directly or indirectly. Fundamental process concepts and principles are also important aspect of organizational design. Organizational design needs to be constantly redesigned according to the needs. For example, IBM has been through many changes with respect to the design. IBM has redesigned from country-specific to global towards matrix design. This has helped IBM with their collaboration within their branches globally and with the other organizations as well. Organizational design plays an important role in the field of research and practice, as this affects the performance of the organization. Erickson stated that the organization performance is influenced by the way organizations act and react effectively. When design faces barriers, it can slow down the process of growth and can lead into a low performance. I'm sorry. Okay. So now we move on to in the unit organizational design. Let us look at some of the elements of the organizational structure. Okay. So job tasks are formally divided into organization. A structure of the organization helps in dividing the job. The manager must address 6 key elements when they design their organization structure. What are the key elements? That is work specification, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, and formalization. Let's look at each one, which is very simple to understand. Work specialization is nothing but also termed as division of labor. It is the degree to which the work activities are subdivided into separate jobs. Departmentalization. What is departmentalization? It is also subdivided and tasks that are grouped. That is based on the job is grouped together. The task can be grouped based on the functions performed. Example, an airline company may have different departments such as the tickets, sales, tour packages, visa services, etc. Each department performs their different function. The departmentalization can also be based on product or service produced by organization. For example, the company Samsung produces different electronics such as refrigeration, washing machine, phones, TV, etc. Geography is another area where department matters. For example, the sale functions may be scattered across the globe based on the customers. Chain of command. The chain of command is the line of authority that extends from the top management to the lowest. The employees are also aware of the reporting authorities or to obey the ones in the position. Unity of command refers to where the subordinate have an idea of who is superior and to who is supposed to report. Unity of command helps preserve the concept of unbroken lines of authority. Span of control. Span of control helps managers to understand how many employees he can directly, efficiently, and effectively. Span of control helps the organization to determine the number of levels and the managers that the organization has. Lastly, another 2 points, centralization and decentralization, and then formalization. What is this now? The concept of centralization refers to the line of formal authority that comes to the position. Centralization is that degree to which making decision is concentrated, at one point within the organization. In the centralization, the top management takes all the decisions, while the subordinated fellows of the carry out instructions on duties accordingly. Decentralization is that degree to which making decision is spread throughout the organization. The decisions here can be taken by the managers or subordinate who are close in line of authority. Formalization. What is formalization? It refers to standardization. Here, the jobs within the organizations are standardized. It is a job formalized and there will be less ambiguity related to one's job and tasks can be performed well, which will increase the productivity. Okay. We are coming to check your progress. Define organizational structure. You should be able to write this organization design. Explain the 3 elements of the organizational structure, which is already given here. You can write it. Right? Now we move on to the forms of organizational structure. There are 2 forms in this organizational structure. One is the mechanistic form. The other one is the organic form. Let's look at this. What is the mechanistic form? The form of organizational structure is very rigid in nature and is adopted by those organizations that are not affected by external changes like market change, technology, etc. In organizational structure, a centralized authority and decisions are made at the top level. The tasks are well defined so that it is easier for management to attain the goals smoothly. Organic form. This is more flexible form of structure that is adopted by those organizations that are exposed to a constant change from environment. Examples can be software firms are one example that adopts the organic form of structure. In this structure, the authority is divided into various functional levels. The decision making is decentralized so that the decisions can be made depending upon the change that takes place. Their reporting system is flexible and the jobs are fairly defined. The structure is more flexible and the subject to change according to the external environmental changes. Organizational structure is developed both horizontally flat and vertically tall. Division of work and specialization is determined by horizontal structure with autonomy and limited level of management. Vertical structure defines the line of authority and the CEO at the top level and multiple levels of the management. In tall organization structure, as the organization, the level of management also increases. Whereas the flat structure, which is less management level, having to control a large group of focus on employee empowerment rather than problem solving to chain, rather than adhering to chain of command. In flat structure, collaboration can be seen among employees in the problem solving or completion of creative tasks. Now, there are different common organization designs. Some are simple, bureaucracy, matrix, etc. Okay, so let us look at some common organizational design. The simple structure. The simple structure is a simple structural design. The simple structure is adopted by the small enterprises called a retail store, an electronic store where the manager and the worker are the same person. Here, the manager controls around 5 to 10 subordinates working in the particular company. A simple structure has centralized authority, which is usually one person who takes the decision. Lower degrees of departmentalization with the wide span of control and little formalization. In simple structure, the line of relationship among members is informal. Simple structure is very simple. It is fast and easy to manage and cooperate. One weakness is that when the store grows and the decision making gets slower, and due to which high centralization and low formalization, sometimes information may be lost or overlooked. Although there can be some seen as a job engagement as the employees are bound by division of labor, it may also lead to conflict among them if the employees are not clear about their roles and responsibilities. You see there is a diagram given here in your textbook. I'm on page 5.52, where you see the owner as the manager, then there is a salesperson, there are two salesperson, and that's one cashier. The bureaucracy. The Max Weber, a German sociologist, has introduced a mechanic form of organizational structure. He visualized bureaucracy as the ideal form of organizational structure. He based it on the principle of equity and rationality. In this model, every individual has equal chance of personal growth based on his or her performance. The system has in detailed policies, rules, regulations. We can say the structure is everything is standardized. Banks, government offices follow bureaucratic structure. The span of control is narrow and the decision making follows a chain of command. The structure has standardized detailed policy and regulations. The activities are conducted in a highly efficient manner. Having specific people like task in different task groups gives good economic growth and avoids duplication of work, people and equipment. The decision making is centralized due to high formalization and standardized operation. There is less scope of innovation at the lower level. One of the drawbacks of this structure is when a case is unable to fit into the standardized rule and regulation, then there is a less scope for modification. The structure is highly rigid and very less or no scope of flexibility. Let us look at another diagram which is given here, right? You can see it here. There is a president, and then you have two different vice presidents, one for marketing and one for production, right? All reporting to the president directly. And then there is a finance director. Sorry. Then there is a finance director. The production, again, vice president. He has production A and production B. Marketing division, he has again two divisions, subdivisions. Then finance director has two subdivisions. After that, the production manager has again two supervisors followed by two workers. Similarly, the marketing person also has one electrician for maintenance division, right? And then the accounts person also has account manager, an employee, and a mechanic, right? Employees. So this is all. The matrix structure, there are two forms of departmentalization found in the matrix structure. It is a functional and product. The matrix structure can be found in universities, laboratories, construction companies, etc. In this structure, all specializations are put together as functional departments, which add to the advantage of the employees in sharing their resources. The product departmentalization functions complete opposite to the functional departments. The product department clearly states the task and the activities related to the product, but here there will be many duplication of activities and costs. In the structure, the unity of command is dual and low, as the employees will report to the functional managers and product manager. This is because the functional and the product management would end up sharing knowledge and skills of the employees. The flow of authority is downward in the functional department, and the flow of authority is horizontal by the product department. The matrix design concentrates on strengths and avoiding weakness. One of the major strengths of the structure is the complexity is that able to facilitate, coordinate with the organization having a number of complex and interdependent activities. One major drawback to this structure is the confusion that is created and foster power struggles. The employee under stress and ambiguity with the reporting system may often lead to conflict. So here we have another diagram. Yes, you look at this, there is a, and then we have marketing, sales, and services, three major divisions, and underneath are the different employees, right, who are looking into different divisions, like marketing divisions, who, right, the sales division and the service division, where we have the electronic divisions for the employees, home good division for another employee, and the snack division for the third set of employees. So check your progress. There are questions and answers, and there is summary which is in this chapter, right, which is explained. And then you have go through the chapters, you have model question papers, and then you can see how you can check your progress by answering these questions. Explain the elements of the organization structure, compare the common organization designs with examples, and describe the matrix structure, what is bureaucracy, and then there is multiple choice questions, right? So try and answer all this after reading through your book, and then fill in the blanks. And then there is a page on glossary and further readings also. If you will go through the book so that you have a better understanding. The language is very simple and it is very clearly given. So there is not much of a difficulty for you to understand. So with this, we close the unit number 5. And then we move on to the unit number 6 now. Yes. What is the unit number 6? Contemporary and new design. What is there in this unit? There is an introduction, there is a contemporary design, there is a team structure, virtual organization, boundaryless organization, and older new designs. What is the objective of this session? To describe contemporary organizational design, explain the team structure of contemporary design, and define the boundaryless organization. Okay, so let us look at what is it. Organizational structure helps employees to control and coordinate their action by using resources to achieve organizational goals. It is a formal system of authority and task relationships that helps the organization to function in a particular manner. Organizational tasks are divided into various activities and departments to achieve efficiencies in the work process. In an organization, an appropriate structure can lead to of coordination and motivation. According to Henry Metzberg, the top management's primary responsibility is to determine the design, goals, and strategy of an organization by adapting to the changing environment. An organizational design is the process to achieve organizational goals where the top managers select the managers aspects of structure and culture so that the activities taking place in the organization can be controlled. In the previous unit, we have learned about organizational structure, defining job tasks and about 6 elements: work, specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, and formalization. That keeps the managers while designing the structure. We have seen how simple structure keeps the decision-making authority in the hands of few people within the business by eliminating confusion among other people. In the past few years, business have become a global and more flexible. The diverse and the complex nature of organization has given rise to much other organization and design. Now, what are the contemporary designs? Let's look at the contemporary design. The key process involved in the organizational design includes differentiation and integration. Differentiation here is dividing the work and the organization goals into tasks. Lawrence and Losch concentrated on organizational effectiveness and found 4 dimensions of differentiation, namely time orientation, managers goals orientation, interpersonal orientation, and formality of structure. The second process is integration, is the process of coordination of different parts of an organization. Now, job design specifies these characteristics of jobs: job range, job depth, and job relationships, right? So job range is the number of tasks performed by job holder. Job depth is the discretion created by the job holder to decide job activities and outcomes. Job relationship is determined by manager's decisions regarding span of control and departmentalization. New and growing economic and culture has made business into becoming a global, giving rise to contemporary, giving rise to contemporary organizational design. Top level managers in today's organization have been developing new structural layers of hierarchy. In contemporary organizational designs, an employer have the freedom to implement their own decision, take ownership of their work without much help or interference from the middle and the senior management. This freedom may lead to increased productivity, work quality, and employee satisfaction. The employees have to develop stronger bond of communication and rely on each other's talent and expertise to accomplish their goals. Employees are empowered and show more interest and involvement in their contemporary design, reduce barriers among functional areas, faster in decision making, and can respond to faster environmental design. So the managers are looking into more flexible and creative ways of structure and creative ways to structure and organize work. There are many factors that influence organizational design. Some of them include the type of technology, organizational size, organizational goals, and many more. Some of the advantages and disadvantages of the contemporary design are: the advantage is they have the freedom to make changes, be innovative, take ownership of their work without interference of the top or the middle managers. This will result in improved productivity, quality of work. The employee shows stronger bonds as there is no leadership observed and reply to each other to achieve a common goal. What is the disadvantages? The disadvantages is the absence of a supervisor or a leader can sometimes lead to ineffective teams, can be disorganized and inefficient. Since there is no hierarchy and the upward advancement and mobility are limited, as everyone is working at the same level. Team structure. Team organization structures have changed the working industries. With globalization, production of goods and services has become very extensive, and companies must work together with suppliers around the globe to produce high quality of cost-effective products. In team-based organization structures, team work towards a common goal while working on the individual task. Organizations can be structured in various ways. The team-based structure in a large organization is considered less hierarchical, less structured, and more fluid and traditional structures. Team consists of a group of employees that generate a variety of expertise and address a specific component which is operational in organization. These teams can adapt and are open to change. They are formed to fulfill group and organization objectives. There are various teams and organizations. Some teams function and endure over time, while other teams dissolve after completion of the project or the problem. Though teams are described as less hierarchical and still include management structure, the structure is flexible, which reinforces problem solving, decision making, and teamwork with less hierarchy. In the team structure, group of employees come together from various functional areas for solving problems and tackle problems and explore possibilities. In team structure, the entire organization is made up of teams or work groups to perform organization, task, and work. Each team works towards a common goal, and the group of common goal and the employee's empowerment is very crucial. The team can be vertical or horizontal. In this structure, And in this structure, there is no hierarchy or chain of command. Here, the employees design structure and decide the most efficient and effective work where the best suits for them. Employees are held responsible for their work, their performances in the respective areas. Innovations can be observed. Large organization team structure complement functional and division structures. Co-founders of Google, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, and have created a corporate structure. Amazon, Hewlett-Packard, Luciotin use employee teams to improve productivity. Team-based structure persists the integration of the team culture within the broader structure, that is the functional structure with the teams interspersed. This integration allows for the authority at the same time, capturing the cross-functional and project-oriented advantages of the team. For example, a company brings along a group of employees from different departments, such as the finance, marketing, and research and development, from different geographic locations. Now the team is given a project of creating a new perfume that is economic within the limits of the company market manufacturing capabilities, and within the budget. Though the team completes the project on time, the team members might be expected to work with their respective functional department. Advantage of team structure is an easy integration. There is also better management and more control of the team as they work in the same setting and are able to communicate and resolve or solve problems faster and together. Team spirit and increased motivation could result in good productivity along with various skills set contribution from every member. Then the disadvantage of this structure could be conflicts arising among the team members that could affect the entire team performance and significant overhead. There is also no clear chain of command and pressure on the teams to perform well. Now you see there is a nice diagram given here. Let us look at this diagram, right? And there is a CEO on the top right at the top. And we have the various departments on the front line, that is the marketing department, project management department, HR department, accounts and finance, and the IT department, right? From the project management, we have the team leader, project leader, and project leader, right? For the marketing department, we have the designer, right? And then for the team leader, we have the project leader who are the finance analyst, and then there's the web tester. And in the HR department, we have a team leader again. In the accounts and the finance department, IT department, we do have a team lead, a webster, a programmer, right? And they're all interconnected. Check your progress. Compare your answers with the one given at the end of the year. What does a contemporary design mean? Okay, so long we have been learning about it. So just go through that and understand and try to write. Next, we move on to the virtual organization. What is the virtual organization? The term virtual organization is a network of firms that join together to produce goods or services. A virtual organizational structure consists of small full-time employees that temporarily hired to work on short-term projects. A virtual organization, though, is small. It outsources major business and function. There can be found very little or nil departmentalization with high centralization in virtual organization. The virtual organization provides innovative and high-quality products or services instantly in response to customer demands. In virtual structure, a network of independent companies link, share skills, cost, access to different markets. When an organization assembles resources from different firms or different individuals who are the freelancers, it seems to be more efficient and effective in nature. The key attribute of the virtual structure are technology, excellence, trust, no borders. The key advantage of the virtual organization is the flexibility and adaptability. According to William Davidson and Michael Mallon, authors of the virtual corporations will become central to the new and the current business revolution. The contacts and the interfaces between the organization. Okay. Suppliers, manufacturers, customers continuously change in the virtual organization. In virtual organization, there can be seen change in partnership very often. For example, once the alliance has been formed, And the opportunity has been exploited. Partners may move over to new partnerships and alliances. An organization creates more partnerships and alliances. The advanced information technology becomes an important element and is the key to success of a virtual as well. The relationship between among the members of the virtual organization is strong as the members create a network of interdependent relationships. Some interdependencies cause organization suppliance, entering into a cooperative argument. An element to the success of this organization is the ability of the organization to create world-class learning systems. These learning systems are effective and can enhance the creativity and innovativeness among the members of the organizations. Companies can hire employees with innovative ideas, and with a little money can successfully compete with a large organization. Hierarchical roles can be absent in the structure. Example, a training firm has an office in Mumbai and Bangalore. It does work with small administrative staff, but has a network of freelancers who are assigned to complete the client work across the globe. With freelancers across the globe, the company enjoys a network of talent without structural complexity. The disadvantages of the structure is that of sharing of culture could be shared or absent. Strategic planning can be more challenging in the virtual organization, determined to effective combination and more competencies. The close interdependence is a bit confusing at times. Loss of control can be found in some of the functional or operational group, leading to issues in communication, coordination, and trust. These might be ambiguity among the employees as they are exposed to various job roles, responsibilities, and career paths. The firms will need to have a business environment in which more flexible, more agile, and at a faster rate to bring services and product to market. In virtual organization, leaders learn new strategies for management. These new strategies will have managers to face and accept new challenges as they are exposed to uncertainty. So just look at the diagram given here. It's a virtual organization. It's an image that has been taken from the Organizational Behavior by Robbins 2014. You look at in the diagram, you'll have an idea about how this virtual organization works. Sorry. Now we move on to boundaryless organization. What is this boundaryless organization? Unlike traditional organization structures which are defined vertical and horizontal borders and hierarchies, boundaryless organization lacks structure and has a free flow of information and ideas to drive innovation, efficiency, and growth. General Electric's former CEO, Jack Welch, coined the term boundaryless organization. His intent was to make the organization more flexible and reduce artificial boundaries. In boundaryless organization, the design is not defined by any internal, horizontal, vertical, or external boundaries. Boundaryless organization structure is an unstructured design that is much more flexible with no chain of command, departmentalization, and hierarchical structure. There are limited administrative staff and other employees. However, freelancers would be hired to work in this project. In one form of structure, the essential functions are carried on. One company which follows this method by managing relations with many suppliers while achieving quality and efficiency. The goal of the boundaryless organization is to break down the cultural barriers by using strategic alliances. Now, there are 4 types of boundaryless organization. What are they? Modular organization, virtual organization, network organization, and learning organization. Let's take one by one. What is modular organization? It generally outsources non-core activities and performs a few core activities or functions. Modular organizations, by outsourcing the non-core activities, are able to concentrate more on core activities and develop more products at a faster pace, focusing on quality and specialty. Virtual organization. like modular organization, outsource their non-core activities. The interdependent companies in virtual organizations share cost, skills, and market. Each firm associated with virtual organization contributes to core competencies. These kind of organizations are more flexible and adaptable. Network organization are similar to modular and virtual as they outsource their business functions. The difference between network and other organization is that modular and virtual organization outsource the non-core activities, whereas network organization outsource even the core activities like accounting, HR, etc. So they can focus on the core business of their company. Various companies are coordinated by manager and formal line of authority while focusing on various functions being carried out. Like virtual organization, network organization are also known as for their flexibility and adaptability. Learning organization. What is learning organization? Known to develop, adapt to change according to the environment. The concept of learning organization does not involve a specific organizational design. Here, the employees acquire, share knowledge, and also apply their time to time learned knowledge to their everyday tasks. Here, it is very important for the members to share their information, collaborate, coordinate across different functional specialties at various organization levels. Employees work in teams to do their tasks, work or resolve issues with these teams tends to have an important feature of the learner's organization structure. Organization structural design. Organization cultural is one of the important aspects of the learning organization. We check the progress. Then there are other design, which is of the 21st century, okay, which is called the fishnet structure and the spaghetti structure. The fishnet structure is a flexible and non-hierarchical in nature. The connection can be formed and reformed. It can also be temporarily designed at times. And fishnet organization have a capacity to rearrange while retaining their inherent strength. Spaghetti structure. This is boundaryless organization where chain of command and span of control is eliminated. Here you may find, instead of teams and department, is most often characterized by flat organization structure, project focus group. This allows faster decision making, communication along with motivating employees. It also gives the opportunity for job rotation to be developed in all functional areas. Example, IT where work is paperless, use of more technology connecting various teams across the globe. Network structure, this design is where linking of various organizations or network can take place to achieve a common. In this design, the individuals work independently and act as an independent body to work as a team for the common purpose. Internet working or intra-organization working can be seen as networking in this structure. The last one is the pizza structure. The structure refers to a pizza team. According to this team, larger teams can be lead to the low productivity or lost communication. And the size of the two pizzas is sufficient for effective management of teams. Similar teams will have less of social loafing and people work in self-directed teams. In the structure, hierarchy can be seen as abolished sometimes. They can also be employees who are involved and employees sometimes. Involved in constructive interaction and decision making. Example, Amazon. Okay, so we come to the summary. We come to the check your progress. And there is also a model, question paper, right? Please go through the whole unit and try and see if you can finish this. Yeah, contemporary design. Write a note on it too. Okay, so go to the notebooks for better understanding. Right, I am taking in each class 3 sessions so that by that we will be able to complete the syllabus. Otherwise, we may have problem to complete syllabus. So first class I have taken unit 1, 2, and 3. Today's class I have taken 4, 5, and 6. Tomorrow's class I will take 7, 8, and 9. Right? And the next month I will take 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, 15. So with this, I'll be able to complete portions when I manage 3 units in one session. So kindly read up the notes, read up the material. It is not at all difficult to understand. Read it once, read it twice, thrice. You should be able to remember it. So that's all for today. So I close today's session. And I will see you again tomorrow at the same time, right? If there is any questions you want to ask, come prepared, write it in your notebook, right? Make notes and make sure that you are in touch with your textbook. It is always best to read the whole textbook at least once. You should be able to have basic understanding, because this is very easy subject, very simple understanding, and the book is done very well, and where you don't really have to struggle with the difficult words or such. Everything is very neatly explained, and every chapter has a summary. Every chapter has check area progress. Every chapter has model question papers. You can go through all this and ensure that you do very well in your exam. See you tomorrow at 12 at the same time. God bless you and all the very best to you.